Hi guys, I'm Walt. I'm talking about comics, and today I'm talking about a graphic novel. It's been a while that I've done that, and the reason is one, I haven't read a lot of graphic novels in the past months, and what I've read, I liked maybe sometimes, or I didn't like. It was like slightly better than average, but I wasn't blown away by anything. But this changed when I finished Noah von Sciver's The Hypo. It's about, the subtitle is The Melancholic Young Lincoln, and yes, it is a biographical graphic novella about the man who is to become one of the great historical figures in American history, Abraham Lincoln, but he's not there yet. Not at this stage of his life, where he's basically struggling with everything. He has a lot of debt. He's a lawyer, but not a very successful one. His relationships towards women are very troubled, and there are those people. You probably know them, who are like easygoing and everything is just happening and they live their life, are in the moment. And there are the other people, the melancholic ones, let's call them melancholic for the, just for the sake of not calling them depressed, because this is the new clinical term. But in the earlier days, you were a melancholic or a hypo, a person who just thinks too much and forgets about acting or living, and this can become troublesome, and it did for this young man here. Interestingly enough, at least for me, I normally read way too many books at the same time, and I tend to not finish books on a regular basis. But however, I also, shortly after I finished the graphic novel, I also finished this novella by Leo Tolstoy, The Death of Ivan Ilyich, which impressed me immensely. And they somehow share a theme. Sometimes if you read like 2 or 3 books at the same time, they start to grow together, to mix into each other, like at a DJ deck where you have 2 tracks and they become one, and they become a new track. And this is what happened here in a way. So this is about the death of a middle-aged man, and all the anxiety that goes with his agony. It's really hard to formulate because it goes very deep, and it's playing on different levels. And this is also not a book channel. It's a graphic and comics channel. This is what like a novel can achieve if the writer is at his peak, as is Tolstoy here. So it's basically just a simple story of a man who has problems with his health, which are getting worse, and then he dies. So it's easy. There's no plot to it, so to say. But you get inside his head, and you can see what is going on there, and how he's doubting everything, and how he looks back on his life and re-evaluates things, goes back and forth. Was it a good life or not? And there are no easy answers, because there is no answer to death. There is no solution to it. And this is how you get out of this book. It's like, yes, and then you die. So it was depressing, but also very uplifting in a way, because it's a foreshadowing of what will happen to every one of us. I will put this aside now because, like I said, it's about a graphic novel, about this one, but those are the same questions that are lingering in this young man's heart and mind and soul. How should I live? How can I get to this point where I'm content with who I am and what I do and how I do it? And I have to say, Noah von Sciver, I wasn't really super aware of his works. I read some things here and there, short stories. Recently something on Comixology which I really liked, but I forgot the title. At the first look, quite rough art. It looks a little bit like he's not sure of what he's doing. But if you have read this novel, you know that this guy is just pretending that he's like this naive artist who's just doing something on a paper. This guy's a fucking master of the comic art. The way he's spacing things, working with space on the paper, on the page. Look at this, how he's using time. It's fucking amazing. I was so impressed. There are so many little subtle things that he's doing right. Don't expect something out of the ordinary. Yes, it's Abraham Lincoln, but it could be anyone else. It's just a guy living almost 200 years ago and, doubting his life and doubting the ways that he goes about things and trying to become a better person. It's interesting that while I read it, I had this feeling I somehow know this slightly detached way of telling a story, of showing more than, he's not trying to make you feel things, which I really like. I hate this authoritarian way of storytelling when the author or the director in a film or whoever wants you to be super sad at this point or be like this or be like that. I really enjoy it if it's a bit of a more detached way, a cold look on something, so that you have space to develop warmth for the characters. And this is what happened here, and it reminded me a lot of Chester Brown's storytelling, which are, and also art in a way, which look a little bit naive and clunky and detached, but then something develops and you get really close to those seemingly untouchable characters, and you understand that it's just a persona, it's just a mask that they're wearing, but there is a lot going on behind, and you really feel the struggle and the inner turmoil of this guy here. And it's sad in a way, but it's not kitschy, it's not sentimental at all. It's fantastic, and it reminded me of Chester Brown. And funnily enough, really after finishing it, I read this blurb on the back of the book, and it is by Chester Brown. And he's saying, Noah von Sciver has developed a storytelling style that I find enormously appealing. Well, in this book, he's used that style to create a vivid and engaging portrait. It's not a very hot blurb like it's mesmerizing, it's amazing, read it. But of course not, because this is Chester Brown saying things about Noah von Sciver's The Hype, where everything is a bit detached, but still very intense. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to help this channel, check out the link in my description. You can buy comics from me through my eBay. I also have a newsletter, which I send out every 2 or 3 months with special sales. And this helps me pursuing this whole comic reading and talking about it furtherly. I'm very thankful for everyone who's watching and commenting and upvoting, and I hope you're back for the next vid. Until then, have a good time. Bye bye.